Hey guys, welcome back to Vengeful YGO. Vern here. So last week at locals, I played Resonator. It was a 4-round locals. It wasn't that big. It was 16 people. And we did pretty well. I was bored of playing Drytron. I didn't want to play Virtual World, and I don't have the stuff for Tri Brigade, so I ended up playing this because I found out that I have most of this deck, if not all of it. So I'm gonna go over my rounds really quick. Round 1, we played against Magical Musket. Game 1, he didn't open any Magical Musket cards, so we ended up just blowing him out of the water. Game 2, he started snowballing before we could really pop off, so I gave him Game 2 and we went Game 3. Game 3, it was a really crazy grind game, but we were able to just keep enough negates and things on field with Abyss and things like that to get the game in. Round 2, we played against Cyber Dragon. Game 1, we kind of just OTK'd him. We went first, we set up our board, he couldn't out it, then turn 3, came back to us, we just got game. Game 2, he made us go first again. He impermed my Resonators, I don't remember if it was Crimson or Red Resonator, and then after that, he just proceeded to OTK us. Game 3, it was a grind game, back and forth constantly, neither one of us fully being able to put game on board, until I was finally able to get into Scarlight and then just burn for game and Red Res gain life. No, round 3. Round 3, we played against Marincess, and this game was interesting, because we had a 30-minute Game 1. It came up to where, in the day, Game 1, he had the links, and he kept just boosting up the link 4 to being so high I couldn't beat over it. It was like 5,600 or something crazy like that, and Scarlight could not just pop it and burn for game because he had 300 life points left, and I had 16,300 because of Red Res. So, and during that whole tournament that day, I was playing 3 Scarlight and 2 RDA because I figured, give him the Nibiru, summon it in the fence, have Red Dragon Archfiend killed in the Nibiru token, which did come up today in that tournament. But in hindsight, I did make one change. I took one classic Red Dragon Archfiend out and put the hot Red Dragon Archfiend in, because it came up to where I could have outed those links. That Game 1 against Marincess ended because I Nibiru'd him a second time, and he had a 9,400 attack, 3,500 defense token that I couldn't out with Scarlight. So it came up to where the hot Red Dragon Archfiend would have came up again if I would have been able to summon it and pop the Nibiru token. So that's how Game 1 went down. He ended up winning that. Game 2, we started going back and forth. I just OTK'd him out of the water. And then Game 3 was going on, and time was called during his turn, so I didn't even get a turn, and we ended up tying that game. So then Round 4, we ended up at Table 1 because there was a bunch of ties at locals, like almost... There were 6 people who had ties for some reason, just because of time rules and the decks people were playing. I ended up playing against Earth Machine, the Machina Earthbox thing. And Game 1, he ended up taking it. Game 2, we ended up actually just OTKing him basically just straight out of the gate. And then Game 3, it would have gone into time. We were playing it out, and basically when time was called, my hand was crazy. I had Crimson Resonator, I had ways to get Red Resonator out. Ways to gain life points for getting to Scarlight and burn him for damage, but he had enough interruptions to stop that. Rounds, I'm actually kind of happy with this. It performed really well. Every round I won. Every time I was at a higher table with this, I just looked at someone and said, I'm in danger, because I should not have been up there with this deck. So, on to the actual deck. You play the 3 of the Crimson Resonator. Crimson Resonator is the starter for the deck. This is what you want to open turn 1. And you want to have it in your hand if you go through the level 12 play, because you have nothing on field during your turn again, so you can just open it up, because it can special summon itself if you have no monsters, and then if you control it and a Dark Dragon Synchro, you can summon 2 Resonators from your deck, but it locks you in a Dark Dragon Synchro the turn you special summon it, or the turn you summon the 2 tokens, which isn't that bad, because it's all your extra deck is, because of that restriction. And the level 8, not level 8, the Dark Dragon Synchro pool is actually pretty shallow, but you do have a lot of options within it. You then play 3 Red Resonator. This is the one you want to have going into mid-game to late game, because you can just normal summon it, spec a level 4 monster from your hand, and then when it's summoned, you gain life points. If you open this Crimson and a level 4, you're just set to go, because turn 1 you're going to be at 10,100 life points. So if your opponent starts stalling and they don't go into the battle phase, you're just going to win on time. This card won me so many games just because of the life point gains, and they couldn't put enough damage on board. And then we play 3 Synchron Resonators. Unfortunately, it's Synchron with a K instead of a C, but this is the one you mainly summon off of Crimson Resonator along with Creation Resonator. When you have a level 8 or higher Synchro on the field, you can special summon this card, and when it's sent to the graveyard from the field, you can target a Resonator in the grave, add it to your hand, except it's a copy of itself. So you can add things back like your Crimson and your Red Resonator, so you don't ever really run out of those cards. Then we do play the 1 Creation Resonator. It's just a level 3 tuner, and you can special summon it if you control a level 8 or higher Synchro. So it's just there to be an extra body and get us into our higher level Synchros. And then we play the 3 Wandering King Wildwind. Against the Earthbox matchup, this card, I opened one, I searched the other one off Resonator Command, and I top decked the other one all in game 1 as we were grinding. It was ridiculous. This card being able to special summon itself just because you control a Resonator is really, really good. So like if you open Red Res in this, you normal summon Red Resonator, it gets Veilered or Imperm, you can special summon this afterwards. So you're not losing anything, and they essentially just wasted a hand trap. And you can banish this card from a graveyard, except the turn it was sent to the graveyard, and search a Fiend Tuner, which means you can add back any of your Resonators. And then we play 3 Witch of the Black Forest. I really wish this was a Fiend, because you can't search this off of Resonator Command. But it does come up because it allows you to search all of your Resonators. It allows you to search basically everything in this deck except for Ash Blossom. Yeah, Ash Blossom's the only thing in this deck it can't search. It searches Nibiru, it searches Skullmeister, it searches Droll, it searches Veiler, it searches all your hand traps, which is crazy. And it gets you into whatever you really, really need in that situation. And then we play the 1 Red Familiar, just being able to tribute summon itself to bring back a Dark Dragon Synchro, and then being able to level modulate it so we can get into whatever Synchro we need is really, really good. It never came up, but it is there for the utility play, and it is searchable off Resonator Command. And there's another level 4. Then we play 2 Skullmeister. Skullmeister is a hand trap that's a level 4 Dark Fiend, so you can search it off of Resonator Command. You can spec it off of Red Resonator so you can get into your Synchro plays. So it's twofold, it's a hand trap, and it is a combo piece, but you can discard it to negate an effect from the graveyard. Then we play 2 Nibiru. It's searchable off Witch of the Black Forest as well, and you can get it off the Chaos Ruler just like Skullmeister. We all know what Nibiru does. There's not really much need to explain it here, but during combo, you're not really, if you go through the level 12 play, you're not really afraid to nib yourself, because during your opponent's turn, when they activate a monster effect, you're going to banish level 12, banish everything on their field. And if they still have plays, you're going to Nibiru them. So it's really, really good. You have 2 board wipes that way. Then we have 2 copies of Effect Veiler being just a good hand trap. You can add it off Witch of the Black Forest. You can get it off Chaos Ruler, which is really, really good. It's also a tuner, so you can use this level 1 tuner play if that ever comes up. Then you have 2 Droll. This is searchable off Witch of the Black Forest as well. However, it's not addable off of the Chaos Ruler, which is kind of sucky, but it doesn't really matter because you can search it in matchups, you can get it out, and if you don't need it in that matchup, you can just side it out. Then we played 2 Ash Blossom. It's not searchable, and we do only play 2 of it, but it is a level 3 tuner in case you ever do need that play, as well as just being able to negate searches, special summons, or milling from deck. For spells, we play 3 Res Call. It just adds a Resonator from your deck to your hand. No need to explain there. Just get to Resonator, Crimson Resonator and Red Resonator as fast as you can. 3 Resonator Command. Discard a Resonator, search a Fiend. Usually going to be Wandering King Wildwind or your Crimson Resonator. 2 Pot of Desires for consistency. Sometimes you banish cards that you need for combo. Like, sometimes you might banish 2 Synchron Resonator. That really is rare and doesn't matter. Banishing Creation Resonator isn't that big of a deal. You only need Creation Resonator when you go into the level 12 play. 1 Called by the Grave to stop hand traps, 1 Triple Tactics Talent for hand traps. I just played 1 and 1 because this is already a 42 card deck, and Called by the Grave's at 1. Tactics, I only own 1. Then double Red Rain going first. This is a blowout because if you get the level 12 play, not only do you get a board wipe off the level 12, you get a board wipe off of this. And if you milled off the Chaos Ruler, and then you immediately synchro summon into Abyss, you just get to add this back to your hand and then set it, so it's really, really good. And then 3 Solemn Strike, as we played going first. We didn't want to go second and just OTK, we wanted to go first, kind of stop their plays, and then when it gets back to our turn, then we want to push for game. And essentially with Red Resonator, we can activate Solemn Strike for free, which is really, really nice. Then for the extra deck, we play 3 Red Rising Dragon. This is your combo starter, any of your level 2 tuners, and then a level 4 get you to this. When Synchro Summon, you can special summon a Resonator from your graveyard, and during the main phase, except the turn it was sent to the graveyard, you can banish it to summon 2 level 1 tuners, 2 level 1 Resonator monsters from your graveyard. So you can banish it, summon back your Synchron Resonators that you used off Crimson Resonator. Really, really good. And then we play the 1 Red Dragon Archfiend. As I said, this card can come up when you're attacking an Nibiru token that has really high defense, whether it's over 3k or not, because when he attacks, this Red Dragon Archfiend is just going to blow up everything that's in defense. So we can add to that Nibiru token. Hot Red Dragon Archfiend is in here because it can out links that are too high for Scarlight, and any monsters that are way too high for Scarlight in the attack stat if they are in attack position, as well as just another level 8 target. Then 3 Scarlight, being able to destroy all special summon monsters and burn for 500 each is really, really good. It came up several times. And like I said, unfortunately, it just couldn't out that Nibiru token. It was so sad. Then we play 2 Hot Red Dragon Archfiend Abyss. It's a target, a card on the field, negate. There's no really need to explain this. You summon this really, really consistently. The fact that it just needs a Dark Dragon Synchro monster as the other material is so strong. 1 Hot Red Dragon Archfiend Bane, tribute a monster, summon a Red Dragon Archfiend from your graveyard. So basically, you can summon all of your extra deck except for the level 12, the Chaos Ruler, and your Beals. When we play 1 Tyrant Red Dragon Archfiend, it's basically Raigeki. It destroys all of the monsters, all of the cards on the field, but it's the only one that can attack that turn. And during the battle phase, when a spell or trap is activated, you can negate it and gain 500. This came up against the Magical Musket player during the battle phase. And then the level 12 Red Supernova, when your opponent activates a monster effect, you banish this and all other cards they control, and then it comes back during the end phase, which is really, really nice. As well, it does need 3 tuners, which does suck, but double Synchron Resonator and Creation Resonator generally gets you there. 1 Beals, he's just hard to out, and then the 1 Chaos Ruler, as it can get us to our hand traps and missing combo pieces. For the extra deck, we played 3 Gamma Seal, 2 Dogoran, a Jizukiru, and 3 Interrupted Kaiju Slumber. These were the MVPs of the day. They came up so much. Sometimes when I was siding and I didn't know if they were going to make me go first or second, because they kind of seen how I had this build to go first or second, I would leave the Kaijus in, and they would just come up. Like, I could Kaiju them, summon Red Resonator, gain life, just wipe their board. It was really, really nice. Again, in the game 3 against Earthbox, I had this in hand, but there was no way I could be able to get the damage on field because he had no monsters at the end of when time was called. Otherwise, and if I had 1 more second, I could have gone to the battle phase and then moved towards game. And then 3 Dark Hole, really, really good, just board wipes for days. Board wipes are so good this format. That's why we play also Raigeki. Basically, we were going first in the main deck, and then we just sided into purely going second, and it just worked so well. I remember there was a time where I left the Kaiju engine in and the strikes in because I didn't know if I was going first or second, and it just played out so well in my favor because I was able to Gamma Seal his Cyber Dragon Infinity and then just strike other things as they came up. And then we played the 2 Dark Ruler No More. I never seen it, so it never came up. Anyway, that's been the deck profile. This was a really, really fun deck to play. I don't know how it performed as well as it did at that Locals, but I'm down to try more of it. If you guys have suggestions for this list, please let me know. I know Burning Soul's a card I could look into. I was able to pick up 1 before the tournament. I couldn't find 2 more copies of it, unfortunately. So there's the Hot Red Dragon Archfiend Calamity play that I could do. Anyway, guys, leave your comments down below, like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.